Messing around with these cameras, batteries going flat.
Alle sprang I lag og ville komme under tak. Ingen av oss merket at du hadde fart ifra. Hvorfor valgte du å dra? Hvem I faen kunne se den komme? Da høsten tok over, sa vi hadde bra til la oss sommer.
Hi guys, welcome back to Kickback Garage. Rob here. Yes, we're on it again. In this video, I am gonna show you how I do a complete strip of Lambretta engine. Ooh, exciting stuff. Now this engine I know has got quite a few issues and I'm quite excited to tear it all down there. So if you want to see how I pull a Lambretta engine apart and inspect the parts, then grab myself a brew and I'll get straight to it. Right, I've removed all the nuts off this, and a little tip for you if you've never done this sort of stuff before is Mrs. Rob, I get it never to throw away these ice cream boxes because they're really handy putting the nuts in and stuff like that. So this was stuck really hard onto the side, so I'm a bit excited to see what's in here, and just ease off the side cover here. Oh, right, I see. Okay. Right, well. The first problem I can see, and that was a bit of a shame. The clutch plunger here, can you see that it's dug itself a bit of a hole in this clutch lever arm? The reason for that is this is, I'll move you in a little bit closer there. The reason for the terrible marks on the clutch mechanism there is that whoever built this forgot to put, there should be a little thimble on this, on the LI type clutch. So that is certainly something that has to be addressed. I think if I talk to the boys in the scooter club, there's probably somebody that's got an arm there, so I'm gonna have to replace that. I mean, that shouldn't be like that whatsoever. So that's finished. That's dead. So that's problem number one. And thimble, I'm pretty sure I can get hold of, just depending on what the rest of the clutches looks like. It also looks like it's been this top plate on the clutch. There's a lot of filings here. I think this has been rubbing on the kickstart shaft here, and that's actually quite a normal problem, believe it or not. There are ways around that, and we'll get into that when I start to put it together. Looking at the chain, this is an atomic chain guide, and this reminds me a lot of the type that I think, is it Tino Sachi or someone like that does, the green one. This is just sort of a rip-off of that. Problem with this is that the bottom guide is I had one loosen and it jammed itself on the rear sprocket here on the clutch and locked my rear wheel. So I think we can live with this part of the chain guide, but not the bottom part. But another problem is this. Oh, that chain shouldn't be like that. I think they've either the chain is completely knackered. I can't even see what make it is. Either the chain is completely knackered. This is actually pretty dangerous because Lambretta engines, they turn anti-clockwise, so you get a bit of backlash here, and you can actually, I've seen it, you can actually crack the case. So if he wants to keep this chain, I think I'm going to recommend that he buys one of those Casa Lambretta pull down type. Right, well that's the horrors are been uncovered pretty well here, and we'll get cracking with a bit more. I've already found a problem with the clutch here. The retaining spring washer has completely lost its ability to hold the clutch together, and it's also deformed. So that's another thing I have to put on the list. Oh, it's going to be expensive, Steve. He's not going to like this. But it's like, if you want me to build your engine and you want it to be properly done, then yeah, it's going to cost a little bit of money. Right, Steve, the good news is you have got a 5-plate clutch conversion, which is cool. But on the other hand, this is absolutely knackered. All the ears on the corks are completely shot, and as you see, the tabs on the plates are absolutely knackered. So that means you need new clutch plates and steels. The keen-eyed of you might have noticed that if you look at this tab washer where it's been joined, they haven't even put it over the tab. So this has actually just been spinning around. In fact, looking at it, there isn't actually a tab on the Spider. Nice one, well done. Right, I removed the front sprocket there, just as per last video, and I have done nothing to this clutch nut, but as you can see, it's completely loose, and that is because it's really strange. But there's absolutely no place for this tab washer to sit in the Spider. So that's just been spinning around and it's loosened itself. That probably explains why all the plates are chewed up. So, is it surprising Lambrettas have got a bad reputation for reliability when people throw them together like this? Be interesting to see the rest of the build. Another one which is a bit dodgy is the fact that this is the LA type clutch basket with these bearings, which is good, but unfortunately this is the type with the inbuilt cush drive, and really don't recommend these with tuned engines. Now this, I think, is a Mugello, but it has got a reed on it, so it's borderline no-no. So that could be a really expensive upgrade we have to do there. But I'll talk to Steve and we'll see what we do there. Another thing that I noticed is the shim that's been used on the back. If I can get it, fish it out there. The shim that's been used on the back of the clutch there isn't actually a clutch shim, and it's been completely chewed up as well. So yeah, so that's not a good thing. Yeah, the saga continues, and I haven't even cracked on. I found in the bottom here is this little puppy. Let's give it a clean up. I know what it is. I was hoping that this was the thimble for the clutch actuation mechanism, but what it is actually the little bit that sits on the ramp of the kickstart shaft. That is absolutely knackered. The threads have gone, and that's just been rattling around inside here in the chain. Next one on the list, I've just removed the head, and as you can see, it's been blowing. The really dodgy thing about this is there is no gasket or gasket sealer in the head there. So that is terrible. I'm quite surprised that it's still running, actually starts. And then we'll remove the cylinder. And as suspected, no gasket sealant, and no gasket sealant, and no gasket at the base of the cylinder either. Right, so that's the cylinder head off. The barrel actually doesn't look too bad, but I do see some problems with this. Now, the last builder, I'm really not sure if you can see that, but the last builder has matched and flowed the port, The problem here is that it's a really sharp edge there around the port, so it really should do with a little bit of chamfer in there. And I have actually no idea what barrel this is whatsoever, and it looks like it's got a iron liner. Can you see that? And another issue I see is the rubber on the atomic, which is Scooter S reed valve assembly here, is perished, so that'll need replacing, and I'm not sure you can get hold of those anymore. Give me a shout in the old comments, tell me if I can get hold of them, and we'll take off the piston. So that's the piston removed. The last builder is not a bad job of making reed valve windows, which is good, but they are a bit sharp on the back side of the piston there, so I have to address those a little bit. Otherwise the piston looks pretty good, standard says there, and the little end bearing is seems fine. So stroke of luck there, I think I can actually use this barrel and piston. Just needs, like I said, just need to dress that a little bit, and I have to dress the cylinder a little bit as well. So that's good. There is, however, some real funky business going on with this crankshaft. It's very stiff. I think the bearings are absolutely shot. Now, I've taken off the primary, so this should spin around really freely. And that is just terrible. There's like a big scraping noise. I have no idea what's going on there. So it's going to be interesting to strip the rest out. This is completely loose. Can you see that? So it's no problem, no wonder that he's been having electrical issues there. So that scraping noise could actually be the flywheel grinding on the mag house itself. Interesting. So this is how you remove the Lambretta flywheel. Now, some cheeky bugger has stolen my flywheel holding tool. I couldn't find that anyway. I know I've got one, but it doesn't really matter because I stripped the top here. You can use one of these, which is a conrod holding tool. You just place that over the conrod like so. The bolt that holds the flywheel is links or left-hand thread. So that means you have to actually move it clockwise, as if you was going to tighten it, to loosen it. So we'll give this a go. See how hard this is sitting there, and it's completely loose. So that's not a surprise, I suppose. A little one to watch here is on the back side. On the back side of the flywheel, you have a little shim, and I was wondering if this was a DL type crankshaft or an LI type crankshaft. The DL GP type crankshaft is always recommended if you're going to tune an engine, because the shaft that the flywheel sits on is thicker. To be able to extract the flywheel, you need one of these flywheel extraction tool, and the reason for that is this is sat on a cone, and it's interference fit, and also the because it's magnetic, then it has a tendency, so you just can't pull it out physically by yourself. Now this tool here is from Scootopia that I bought a couple of years ago, and it's got threads for different types of threads of the flywheels. Now it's really important. What I did on this one now is I used the compressed air to blow the threads clean, and you have to try and thread that in as far as you can get it, because if you strip those threads, then it's going to be a lot of messing around for you to try and get that off there. One in the middle, and hopefully be able to pop it off. Ouch! Ow! Wow! So these fit pretty hard. You have to give it a good tug to loosen it off the corn on the. There we go. I think that should be. That's coming off. Screw this in, and that should be a flywheel removed. Oh my god, look at the state of that. That is the Woodruff key. That is not good. Completely loose. And that flywheel looks terrible. I'm really surprised. I have to say, I'm really surprised that this this was actually running. As you can see, that is definitely not normal. So I'm going to turn the engine around here and take off the plate here, so I can pull the wiring through. Now you can see there's a lot of shavings here, and that is basically because the whole mag house here is completely loose, and the flywheel has been dragging on the mag house. Lovely job, well done the guy who built this. Gonna go for a little bit of wobbly cam. Bear with me please. This plate here is supposed to be a two plate system. You've got a lower plate and you have a rubber bushing which isn't there, and then you have the upper plate, so that keeps the electrical wires secure. And as you can see, it's just been put in with Phillips head screws here, and the best thing to use there really is the normal machine head screws. So I'll remove this plate here, and then I should be able to remove the starter. So I've taken remove the plate, and now I can remove the starter. Now normally these screws aren't completely loose. 3 screws that secure the starter plate here, so I'll take those off. And then we just ease the wire through the hole there. Looking at the starter, it's an original SIL, 12 volt, but looking at the pickup, that's really got some. I mean, the fact that this has been running is amazing. That is such a mess. I really wouldn't recommend reusing that at all. It just, even though it was running and it could clean up a little bit, it's just the fact that my reputation, if I rebuild this engine, it's my reputation on the line, and I sort of refuse to use these parts here. It's just horrible. Now normally when you are removing the magneto housing, that's normally quite tight, but you remove these through 3 screws here, so there's 6 in total. These are just little nuts, and the moral of the story here is use nylox, because these just aren't doing the job at all. So that's the 3 nuts removed off the magneto housing, and if you look closely at the magneto, you can see there are 2 holes in the housing itself, and they haven't got anything on the back side. They sort of just go into nothing. So these two holes here, these are what are known as the extracting holes. Now I'm going to give these a little bit of a clean because it gives me a bigger chance of pulling this off, but I think maybe actually we can just pull it off by hand. So in a normal circumstance, what you can use is T-bars, which you thread in here. I've got some, I'll show you. So these are the T-bars that you use. As you can see, there's two different lengths, and the reason for that is that when you thread those in the holes to remove your magneto house, see if you can see that a little bit better, is the idea of this is this pushes against the engine block and pulls the magneto housing off. And the reason why they're two different lengths is the fact that you can screw them together at the same time. But because this thing is completely loose, I think we just kind of pull it off by hand. Lovely. That is not normal, folks. Not normal whatsoever. The rollers on the bearing here, they're really loose. They're not sitting in the house, so he definitely needs new seals and bushes. Unfortunately, as well, the magneto housing has been moving in the engine block here, and that's going to be a real balls ache to try and get to seal up. But I think we can use it all the same. And the holes on the magneto housing themselves as well have elongated slightly. So I think, Steve, you should buy a new magneto housing, mate. I'm sorry to say. So I'm bringing you all close in here, and this is the main bearing on the crankshaft, and that movement there is not supposed to be there. That is absolutely and totally shot. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the crankshaft. I have a plate from a special tool from MB Developments, which you screw down here and you press it out with the screw there. So I'll just turn the camera off and I'll sort that out, and we'll have a look and inspect the old crankshaft. Well, that was a complete no-no. I was thinking about using the tool, but it's the crankshaft was so loose in the bearing here, I could actually just remove it by hand. So either this thing has seized at some point, the bearing, and it's been spinning on the crankshaft or something, but I'm going to have to remove the crankshaft now. So we ease that out, just pull that in there. No. Let it go out. The crankshaft to me looks like a older type Mazzucchelli crankshaft. There's no movement on the big end, so it looks like we maybe can use this crankshaft after all. Next job is removing the seal holder, which is here. Now I prefer to use hex head bolts, but these are the original type flap bolts, and the only way to get these out, really, because they've peened over on the side there, the only way to get them out is by using one of these drivers. Now if you're a Clever Clogs, you should really have an extension bar on here, but I've got away without using the extension bar. But be really careful when you use one, because you really don't want to be connecting on this edge here where your crankshaft sits. That loosens straight away. That's good. That's good. That's good. Next one. I'm just trying to place this driver on the inside of the screw there, so I don't, like I said, whack the face of the casing. that's loose. So it's not that bad a job really, but like I said, when I put this back together again, I'll be using hex screws and double Loctite. I don't like the old method of punching them. Monster screwdriver. See if I can get these up. Yeah, piece of cake. Oh, come on, you bugger. So that drive plate there should really just lift out. And it does. This is an original Innocenti drive plate, which these aren't too bad actually, because these are made in hard metal and not aluminium. So that can be used again. And there's no sign of the crankshaft, believe it or not, rubbing on this, so I think we should be okay. And that's a halite washer. We keep going, and next job is removing the main bearing. When you're messing around with bearings, if you have to hit on the inside ring, then the bearings are dead. Okay? So if you remove this, you can't reuse it. It's a one-way process. I'm just using a seal drift. See if I can punch it out there. It's just a case of giving it some blows. That's moving straight away, so voila! That's the case pretty much stripped. In the next video I'm going to do rebuild the gearbox. So I'll just move the cases out of the way and we'll strip the mag house. On the magneto housing, on the back side here, you'll see ears of this circlip that holds the bearing in place. Now it's really important to use a good quality circlip plier to get this out, because it's a tough cookie. I'm using the old Knipex. Watch your face, because if this, oh, it's, oh, got it. So there's your circlip. You've got a seal here, you can just pop it out with a screwdriver. Just prise it out there. There you go. That's your seal. In this case, fucked seal. Now, what you have to do to remove this bearing, these are can be a bit of a pain to get out. So on this one, it really requires some heat. So I'm going to heat it up with an air gun. I'll do that first. So I put the blocks of wood underneath the mag house here, so that when I push the bearing through, I've got room to let that drop out there, like so. And then we heat the inside here, which should let the pressure off the bearing there. If you've got it warm enough, you can just put some spit or water on it and it will start cooking. But I can see the grease on the bearing here is starting to bubble, so that should really be enough. Then I use this. It's a big 27mm socket that I don't use for any other purpose than this, so it doesn't matter if I kill it. Woo, it's hot stuff, baby. Ta-da! Simple when you know how. So that was the bearing removed. Gotta put my, damn that's hot. Put my other gloves back on here. So this, you've got the bearing, you've got the spacer, not easy to see with all that crap on it. This is the bearing spacer, and that's just part of the seal. And this is the it's very hot, that's what it is. This is the GP type crankshaft bearing, and that doesn't require a spacer. So if you're building taking one apart, an engine LI TV type with a small crankshaft, then there will be an extra spacer as well to fill out the gap where the bearing is. So I'm going to have to give this a clean up and a good inspection. Now what I noticed when I was looking through the parts I pulled out here is the fact that on the crankshaft, the reason why I thought it was an LI crankshaft is the fact that it had the LI type crankshaft nut on there. So that's another thing Steve has to buy, because they're supposed to be like a shouldered long nut on the crankshaft there. The mag house actually isn't as bad as what I first anticipated. Yeah, the holes are a little bit oval, but to tell you the truth, I think I can get away with using this, because once it's secured in properly and the bearings actually move round, then I don't think it's going to be moving anyway. So yeah, I think you'll be happy with that. I think we'll be able to move this, use this one. So that's the engine stripped, and as I said, next video I'm going to do a complete gearbox removal, and I'm going to show you how to shim that back into place again, and we're going to do a proper inspection of it. So do the old subscribe, give me a thumbs up, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ra folks. Right, today I've got delivery of an engine which Hi guys, welcome back to Kickback Garage. Woo!